Hey guys, this is I just wanted to make a video going over my Norman Osborn Green Goblin deck for Commander. I watched Petrowski MTG's video on his Lord of Tressorhorn deck, and I thought it was really cool. And I've been playing Norman since he released in Spider-Man, and I've put a lot of effort and testing and time into this, so I just thought I'd kind of go over my deck and show you guys what I'm working with. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Before I played Magic, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community had a lot of deck profiles and kind of showing off different cards in their decks and how their decks worked, and I feel like it was a really cool part of the community that I feel like Magic's kind of missing. So I figured I would make my own effort to contribute to that. So yeah, here's Norman. He's 1 in blue, 1/1 human scientist villain. Can't be blocked. Whenever he deals combat damage, he connives, which is fairly relevant. Usually you're casting him on your second turn of the game, and for the first couple turns you're just gonna swing on your opponents trying to get +1/+1s on him before you flip him over. This deck is, I would say, high bracket 4. You're not going for CDH. You're going for I explained, just like a roller coaster. It's kind of slow to build up, and then when you reach the top, it kind of full force comes down. So, but yeah, after you flip him over for Grixis and 1, he has Flying and Menace. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less, and then if you each non-land in your graveyard has Mayhem, which Mayhem's equal to its regular cost. So essentially, you're wanting to discard your cards with Green Goblin and then cast them for 2 cheaper throughout the game. Kind of build up. You want to kind of build up advantage through casting everything for cheaper. So I kind of like Petrowski's video, which I will link in the description. Also in the description, I will have Architect, Mana Box, those things for this deck list, and also a cheaper version of it, a more budget option, which there will be kind of levels because I did check it out already. So this deck costs $2 grand, but that's because of things I have an Underground Sea, which is half the cost of the entire deck. But if you take out all of the Underground Sea and the crazy things, and you take the lower versions of these, it's $600. And then there's 5 cards, which I will show in here, that are worth $300 themselves, which if you want to build this deck for a slightly lower bracket without game changers, you can build the deck for $375, and maybe even cheaper if you take out some things and swap them out for cheaper things. But so yeah, so if you've seen his video, you know how it goes, but I've broken them down kind of into piles based on what's best for the deck. So this pile is what I would consider the most important cards in the deck. It is basically they're going to be your draw and discard cards. So it's going to be the way that you discard. Oh, my dog's coming down the stairs. It's going to be the way that you discard all of these to be able to cast them for cheaper. These are discard outlets too, which I'll go over, but these you're also getting cards back in your hand. So it's kind of like mana fixing to be able to draw cards you need and then discard the ones that you want to cast while kind of fixing your hand. So yeah, Faithless Looting, you're going to draw 2 and then discard 2, and you can flash it back for 1 red, which is incredible. Witch's Mark, a lot of these honestly do the same thing. Discard a card, draw 2, discard a card, draw 2. This is Thrill of Possibility, by the way. Big Score, it costs 4. You discard a card and draw 2. Also make 2 treasures, which again, if you're discarding, so if you cast a Faithless Looting, you draw 2, discard this as one of them. You can cast it for 1 red and 1 colorless. Then you can draw 2 more, discard another, and then make 2 treasures. So, you can cast this for cheaper, just, kind of the point of the whole deck. This Careful Study, draw 2, discard 2, same thing. Again, these are all doing the same things. It's so important. Same here. This one's pretty good because, again, if you can discard it, cast it for 1 blue, you draw 3, and then discard 2 unless you discard a creature, which, again, a lot of the time you're wanting to discard a creature anyways because you can cast it for 2 cheaper. So you can draw 3, discard a card you want to cast anyways. So it's very powerful. And then Frantic Search, same thing. You know, you can discard it, cast it for 1 blue, draw 2, discard 2, untap your lands. So these cards are like a very, very powerful and important part of the deck. So going from there, I'll go over the discard outlets next. So these are cards that will draw and discard. These are just cards that you can use to discard in general. Locust God, you get a benefit for the drawing card, but he has the 2 blue-red where you draw a card and discard a card. Psychic Frog, you know, you're discarding cards, putting a +1/+1 on him. The amount of times that you don't have one of these, but you have a card in your hand that you want to discard to be able to cast for 2 cheaper, and you just need a discard outlet, he's one of the best because you don't have to tap him. You can do it at instant speed. You can do it on your opponent's turn. So just having the access to be able to discard as many cards as you want while making him stronger, he makes him a very, very good discard outlet. This Cephalid Broker, there's a couple cards in here that are like pet cards or like cards that I was like, well, I don't really want my deck to just be the same as everybody else's, and I wanted to kind of look for cards myself. And I really like this one because, again, you can cast him for 2 cheaper, so you can cast him for a blue and a colorless. And then every turn, you're getting to essentially cast one of these without paying mana for them because you're tapping, you choose yourself, you draw 2, you discard 2, which is what a lot of these cards are doing. So I think that's pretty good. If you get him out early, you're doing it every single turn. So I really like that. This is one of the more expensive ones, you know, a discard outlet, tap or untap an artifact, a creature, or land. Very, very good. So, I mean, this card's pretty self-explanatory. This is another one that I think is kind of like spicy, which is, you know, again, you can cast it for 2 less. A lot of these cards are going to look expensive, but if you have Green Goblin on the field, you're casting them all for 2 less, which is like extremely relevant. Like extremely relevant. So you'll see a lot of these cards look really expensive. I promise it does not come up a lot where you're having to actually cast them for their full mana value. But you're getting to enchant one of your lands. Then you can tap that land, you discard a card, so a discard outlet, and you can steal someone's creature for the turn. This is pretty great if they have an Atali or something like that. Or just a card that you don't want them to have. Even you can activate this on this turn. If you hold it on your turn, they go to their turn, you know, they enter combat. You can, you know, activate this, tap it, discard a card, take control of a creature of theirs. So yeah, this is pretty spicy, and I think it's gonna be pretty fun. I haven't gotten to play this, like I haven't gotten to cast it yet, but I do think it'd be pretty fun to play. Likeness Looter is kind of the same thing as Psychic Frog, slightly worse, but you really, really need discard outlets. So if you don't have these and you don't have any of these active, you just need to at least get one. So every turn you have at least one outlet to cast something cheaper. So that's, I mean, he's still a great card. Plus the X to transform him is pretty relevant. Same thing with this. Again, just another discard outlet. I almost never transform this card. I never find it. I always find that I'd rather have another discard outlet than the mana, but I do think there's a situation where if I have enough of these online, I could see myself wanting to transform this to like have an explosive turn towards the end of the game. But yeah, it's just another discard outlet. Ultimate Green Goblin, discarding a card, making a treasure. I mean, super good. I love treasure tokens. Any excuse I can have to make a treasure, like, I'll take, because I think they're so strong. So he's really good. This is Green Goblin Lightning Bolt. You bolt them for 3. It is only to target creature, but the additional ability of discarding a card is relevant. You pay 1 mana. If you have something like here, like an Arcane Signet that costs 2, like pay 1, discard the Arcane Signet to deal 3 damage to kill a creature, and then you can cast this for free because it's now 2 less. Comes up a good amount, and just the ability to kill something, you know, like a Birds of Paradise or something, it is relevant. So this card's really good. it's come in handy a lot for me. And then for the last one in this pile, we have Kitsa, which, again, same thing. Draw a card, discard a card. Use one of their discard outlet. She's really good if you've casted 3 things, which later in the game, I do run an Underworld Breach. And so when you've like discarded a bunch of stuff and you've kind of piled up your graveyard, this will be relevant to be able to, like, you know, you Underworld Breach 3 or 4 cards. You can copy this. A lot of times it's for one of these, which when we get this pile's next, when we get to here, you'll understand more. But yeah, this card's really good. So speaking of that, so we're drawing and we're discarding a lot of cards with Green Goblin, and we're getting a lot of value because these creatures are good. But these are the cards that actually make it worth it. And if you don't have Green Goblin on the board, these cards still make your whole deck work by discarding cards. Yes, it won't be for as cheap, but you know, in my group, I'm a big target when this hits the board. People want to get rid of him. So having these cards makes a difference. So Captain Howler's insane in this deck because whenever you discard 1 or more, you get +2/+0 for each card. So again, when you're using all of your discard outlets and doing that, you can really charge up a creature, especially like if you have Green Goblin who has flying and menace, you can put all of the counters on him to make him very strong. So I love Captain Howler. I think he's fantastic in this deck. Psychosis Crawler, just you're drawing so many cards. Literally yesterday, I Superior Spider-Man to grab him out of my grave because he got milled, and then I burned my opponents when drawing and doing all of that. So great card for this deck. There are 3 of these in here that they all kind of do the same thing. All 3 of these, anytime you discard a card, you burn your opponents for 1. So, you know, you get all these online, you're burning them for 3 every time you discard a card. You discard a lot of cards in this deck. So, and again, if Green Goblin's not here and you're still drawing and discarding, trying to get your stuff online, these are still burning for 1 every time. So, I've recently added these. They make a huge difference. This card's just actually straight up mean. Like, this card's so rude. -1/-1 counters. You're discarding a lot. It's a board wipe on legs. So, I mean, there's really not much else to say. This card's just actually, like, ridiculous. This one's pretty good. I mean, 1 red mana, you get him out early, and you discard a lot of cards. You know, turn 1, you know, Mountain or, you know, Shockland, whatever, play Marauding Mako. Turn 2, you play Green Goblin, you start conniving, he starts getting bigger, you start casting those, you start getting these, all of those things start happening. This guy will get huge very quick, and if you draw him later, you can cycle him for 2 to get a different card, which again, you're discarding a card or drawing a card for Psychosis Crawler. So yeah, he's really insane. I really like him. And then for these 2, or these 3, sorry, Bone Misers, I mean, the best one, but whenever you discard a card, a creature, you make a zombie, a land, you add 2 black, a non-creature, you draw a card. You discard, this is 1 or more cards, you make that many zombies, and then this one also gives you benefits. You get a +1/+1 on Goblin, so you can start beefing up your commander, or you discard a land and make another treasure. So these are letting you draw and discard, these are letting you discard, these are letting you profit off of it. I would say these 3 stacks of cards, those 3 stacks of cards are your entire deck. Like, you are just playing these, you're playing these constantly, you're using these. And the best part about this deck is that, like, a lot of these are, like, good creatures too. I mean, a 5/4, and again, you know, his Mayhem is 2 and a red/black. You discard him, you pay 1 red or black, and you get him on the board. Or 3-mana creature for 1 mana. Same thing with, you can discard it, play it for 1. Discard this, play it for 1. So there's a lot of times where you have, like, good turns with Green Goblin where you're discarding a lot and getting a lot of things for cheaper. That is relevant. So next I'm going to just go over these 4 cards, which these are just extra draw support. So you're drawing and discarding a lot with these. I played this card yesterday, actually. This card's insane. Whenever you draw a card except for your first one, you draw 2. So for all of these, you're drawing, for this, you would draw 4 and then discard 2. This one, you're drawing 6 for that Thirst, which if you go back and look at it, like, you're drawing 6 for that. So this is insane. You pair this with with Consecrated Sphinx, which this card's also insane. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you draw 2. So you have this on the board and this on the board, and your opponent draws a card, you're drawing 4. If you have Psychosis Crawler, I mean, you're burning them for 4 for every single card that your opponent draws, which is absolutely insane. Starwinder, I mean, I just love the art on this card. I mean, I just think it's absolutely beautiful. But also, it makes all of your creatures let you draw cards for dealing damage, which is pretty relevant. You have a lot of flyers, you have a lot of ways to kind of get quick damage in, so that helps with draws. And then Rhystic Study, which, I mean, it's a Rhystic Study. It's just draw support. Plus, if anything, people want to remove this. They think it's a threat. It kind of stops them from moving all of your other stuff that is threatening. So that's just kind of your extra draw support. Next up, I'll show you some of the fast mana in the deck. So Arcane Signet, which again, you're casting for free if you discard it. Ragavan, one red mana, tap it, you play Ragavan. He's making you treasures early on. You're using those treasures to dump into things like this, or into Goblin, or to these other things, which will generate you value. So he kind of just gets your whole deck kind of moving, which I really like. I think is very relevant. I mean, Dark Ritual, pretty explanatory, just fast mana. Lotus Petal. My opinion is that there's 2 huge things that Lotus Petal does for this deck, which is, one, if you open your opening hand, you play a land, you play Lotus Petal, and you get Norman, who's a 2-mana creature, on the board turn 1. So on your second turn, you're already attacking and getting him his +1/+1 counters to be able to flip him into Green Goblin as a bigger creature for later. Second thing is, with Underworld Breach, you're getting your graveyard so full that you can exile so many cards. You can exile so many cards to keep bringing this back and keep cracking it for a mana over and over and over again. And because the things you're casting from your graveyard are 2 cheaper with Green Goblin, it makes it pretty easy to use this mana to cast other stuff. And, so I think it's very good. And then Soul Ring, which again, I mean, it's only 1 mana, but you can discard it and cast it for free. So it's very good. These are all pretty fast. They're all cards that I'd recommend playing. Next on, these are just creatures. I'm calling them, this pile I'm calling utility creatures, and these are, hold on, let me just address this. This is a pet card of mine. He does not fit this deck at all. I don't even watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just thought he was so awesome. I just absolutely love him. Which I have another card that you'll see in here. But you can cast him for 4 mana, which 4 mana, drop him in, he blows up 3 target creatures, and he's a 9/6. It's pretty good, and yeah, it's just a pet card of mine. I just love him. But, so these are all utility cards. Superior Spider-Man is giving you access to anybody's cards, like an Orcish Bowmasters in your opponent's graveyard. This deck does not, I want to put one in here. I don't have one now, but he can be an Orcish Bowmasters, he can be a Craterhoof Behemoth, he can be any of your cards that get milled earlier on, like the Psychosis Crawler, or anything like that. So yeah, he's really good. And again, you can discard him and cast him for just blue-black and get that. So it's really strong. This card's insanely relevant because, again, you're discarding a lot. So early on in the game, I may cast a Frantic Search early and discard, a card that I really want, a creature I really want to use, or a spell. Like I have Tainted Strike, which we'll get to, but say I have to discard the Tainted Strike early because I need the rest of the stuff in my hands. This is a great card that I can discard, cast it for cheap for potentially 2 blue, which for another card I'll show you. And when it enters, I can cast an instant or sorcery without paying its mana cost. So this card's super relevant for being able to grab anything that I've discarded at a later turn. So this is a card I would not get rid of. I really, really like it. It has helped me in the past, so I think this card's fantastic. This is a pet card. I just love the Scarab God. I think being able to exile a target creature and make a copy of it is awesome. I mean, that's really it. There's nothing else to say. Just you can cut this. You can cut this. You can cut this for cards that you like better. These are not important to the engine or anything. I just purely enjoy them. So same with the Tali, but again, hold on. Let me. Okay. Emmett Shell from Final Fantasy, which I've never played either, but he also makes cards cost 2 less. So him and Green Goblin on the board makes everything cost 4 generic mana less. So I'm going to bring that up now because I do feel like it's relevant to a lot of what I talk about. But for like with Atali, I mean, a 2 red mana Atali Primal Storm is so good. It puts so much pressure on, as like in bracket 4, I mean, you're exiling cards from your opponent's decks and being able to cast them and being able to do it for 2 mana. I mean, you cast Frantic Search, you discard this as one of the 2 cards. You draw 2, discard this as one of the 2. You could untap the 2 red mana that you may have spent earlier and then use those to cast him. So like it works so well, and this is such a great card. So you can cut this because it's not important to the strategy, but I do think it's really good, especially because you can cast it for cheaper. So I would maybe recommend keeping it personally. Okay, this Soren Markov, again, going back to Emmett Shell and Green Goblin, and also I have, let me go over it, Nightscape Familiar too. He makes blue and red, so he wouldn't be relevant for this card, but he is for other cards. He makes them cost 1 less as well. So these are the 3 cards that make your stuff cost less. But for him, if you have Emmett Shell and Green Goblin on the board and you discard him, you can cast him for 3 black, and then you can immediately do the -3 and make someone's life 10 damage, or 10 life. And then you have all of the other burn stuff set up. So hypothetically, you can, so if someone you're playing against life gain or somebody who hasn't taken a lot of damage and they're at 40, I mean, you can bring him in and drop them down to 10 in 1 turn. And then you've already brought them back to maybe where everybody else is, or bringing them down from being in the position that they're in. So this card's insane. I really like it. And then Mockingbird, I've debated cutting this because we're not in CEDH, but it is relevant. You can make an Orcish Bowmasters, which I guess if they have one, you can make it. It enters as a copy of Orcish Bowmasters, and then when it enters, I think you can deal a damage. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, yeah. So this has utility, but this is a card I've debated cutting, maybe putting in a different deck that would utilize it better. But it just, for now, it's a utility card. But yeah, so that's those. These are all cards that they're either not necessarily specific to this deck, but they're just kind of good in general. That's kind of the same thing for all of these spells that I'm about to show. Tainted Strike is here for a few reasons. So this is going back to earlier. If you're conniving with Norman early on, maybe you get him up +3 or +4, flip him over, he's a 7/7, and then you have Captain Howler, where you're discarding and giving him +2/+2, or Marauding Mako, where he's getting +1/+1 for each discard, and then you cast a Tainted Strike, give them the +1/+0, they get Infect, you hit somebody for 10 damage, kill them in 1 turn. It's very, very powerful, especially for 1 mana. And again, going back to the Daring Wave Rider, where you can discard this early on and grab it back with a Daring Wave Rider later. You can Underworld Breach it back later. There are ways to get this card back if you have to discard it, so I think this is very good. Rakdos Charm, this card's insane. Mostly for destroying the target artifact. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard. It's like, okay, sometimes it can be relevant with my pod, but the destroy the target artifact's really good. And then the each creature deals 1 damage to its controller was the main reason I added this card, in case someone in my pod decides to try to make infinite creatures. I figured I can, in response, cast this. And then if they were to try to swing, I can have them all deal damage and kill them. So this card's really relevant. And yeah, I mean, I love this card. It's very, very good. I don't love this card. I'm still playing it for now because I feel like it's very good, but I don't love it. But again, you can discard it and cast it just for Grixis. It enters, but the thing is, everybody just kind of works together and just make sure you don't draw a lot off of this. And it does make them discard, but it's honestly not super relevant for my pod. So, and a lot of times I don't really want to pay the 8 to transform him, because in this deck you want to spend that 8 mana on discarding and drawing and burning. So this card's on the chopping block for me, but I don't know. If you think I should keep it, maybe let me know why. Or if you have a replacement for it, let me know. But I'm not high on this card, but it's in there for now. Underworld Breach, I mean, I don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory. You discard a lot, you draw a lot, fill up your graveyard with like 20, 30 cards, cast this, and just be able to grab some of the stuff you need. It ends up being very relevant. So, you know, I think it's just a great card for this deck, and it has come up a lot for me, even if it's just to recycle all of these drawn discards just to keep churning through my deck to get to whatever I need to win that situation. So, okay. Everybody knows this card is good. I added this card in for one specific reason, and it is so that I could steal my friend's Smothering Tithes, because we are in Grixis. We don't have access to a Smothering Tithe. A lot of my friends play some variant of a white deck. They have them. I put this in here so that I could steal them because I'm sick and tired of them getting all the treasures. And I didn't want to let them have that without any recourse. And sometimes, I mean, and it's also just really good. You know, you exile 2, especially when you're drawing so much, you'll often have 2 blue cards in hand to be able to play this. So yeah, and I guess you also, timing rules apply, so you can, if you have Emmet Shell on the board and Nightscape Familiar and Green Goblin, I mean, you can discard this and technically play this for 2 blue mana at instant speed if you have like a Psychic Frog. So like, that's relevant. It's never come up, but it's possible, which is pretty cool, I think. So, but this is mostly to steal Smothering Tides or Orcish Bowmasters or other Ristic Sites, just any other game changers that people are going to have that I want to take. But mostly Smothering Tithe. This card's so cool in this deck. I think this card is so sweet. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, then discard a card. So if your opponents are milling you or you have to discard creatures earlier, I mean, you can return 2 creatures and then re-discard one of the 2 that you just added back just to be able to cast it for cheaper. So, and it's for 2 minutes. So you could even discard, if you have like Psychic Frog on the board, discard this with Psychic Frog, cast it for a black, return 2 creatures to your hand, then discard one of those creatures and then cast it for 2 less or 3 less or 5 less or 4, whatever with these 3. So yeah, this card's like super, super crazy and like super relevant. And it doesn't come up in every single game, but like when I need it, it comes up, which is really nice. Dude, this is my super, super spicy tech for this deck that I think is so sweet. I feel like sometimes I get this problem where, you know, if I have Consecrated Sphinx out and my opponents are, you know, drawing a lot, I'm drawing a lot, and my hand is super, super full, but I don't have the exact cards I need, you can discard this and cast it for 1 blue or 1 blue and 2 or whatever. You can cast it for cheaper, and you target yourself and you draw the 30 cards, 20 cards, whatever, how many cards you have in your hand, and then discard them all. This, I mean, if you have Psychosis Crawler and like Braylon, the Sky Shark Rider, like you draw the 20 cards and burn everyone for 20, and then you discard the other 20 cards and burn them for 20 again, and now they're dead. So I just feel like this card is like, I don't know, I haven't seen this in many lists or anything, and I feel like it's genuinely slept on. I also feel like it's pretty dark. Let me turn the light on and see if that is better, because it seems like it's gotten darker since I started this video. So, but yeah, so that is how I feel about this card. Yeah, that's much better. But this card, yeah, I feel like this card's kind of crazy, and I feel like it's super slept on, and yeah, I don't know. I literally won the game yesterday with it. I had this card out, Teferi's Ageless Insight and Psychosis Crawler, and I drew like 40 cards and just burned everybody in one. So that card's kind of crazy. It's like, dude, in this Odyssey or Prophecy, it's one of the two. I think it's Prophecy. But the foil's like $2 right now. So I don't know. Go pick it up if you want to play the deck. It's super cool. So everything that I've talked about in this video so far, this card just says you deal triple the damage. The Psychosis Crawler, you're dealing 3 for every draw. The Braylon, you're dealing 3 for every discard. Going back to that Sorin earlier, I mean, if you have this on the board and then on the next turn you play that Sorin and then discard like 3, or you discard 4 cards, you burn everyone for 12, and whoever you hit with the Sorin's dead now. Your creatures that are attacking are dealing 3 times damage. If they're blocking, triple damage. Like this card, and again, you can cast it with Nightscape and Green Goblin, you're casting it for 3 red mana instead of the 6. So although this card normally is expensive, you're basically this deck is tax evasion. So you're playing it for cheaper, and this card is absolutely bonkers in this deck. It has done so much for me. So very, very relevant. Okay, this card is good. This card is good. Each instant sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback. Also, each player may discard their hand, which I guess this is more relevant because if you have this on your field and you have like Braylon or Glinthorn or there's one other card that I have in here that I showed you guys. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you have 3 cards that burn when you discard. And you discard your hand, say you have 20 cards in your hand, or you have 10 cards in your hand, and you've got this card down, you discard them, and you're burning everybody, and then you draw 5 new ones. It's very relevant, plus all your stuff. Your instant sorceries gain flashback, so all of these gain flashback. So you can also draw and discard more cards, and you can cast them all for cheaper because they're in your graveyard, so they're 2 less because of Goblin or Emmet Shell. And you're just getting so much value off of this. And then Lightning Greaves, I mean, again, you can discard it, cast it for 0, equip it for 0, equip it to Goblin. If you do that, he's extremely hard to remove. And not only is he hard to remove, it like, because he makes everything in your deck cheaper, once he's difficult to remove, it's kind of difficult to stop this deck from winning, because no one can stop your stuff from being cheaper, and then you're constantly just gaining value, and then it's kind of over at that point. I have 4 removals. I have Fell the Profane. Again, you can discard it for 2 black. You can destroy a creature or planeswalker, plus it flips into essentially a mono black chalk land, but this is pretty good. Blasphemous Act, dude, this Innistrad foil is gorgeous. I love it. I mean, super good. Obviously, 1 less. You can discard it to cast it for even cheaper. If there aren't that many creatures, which I guess at that point, why play this? But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is relevant. Chaos Warp. Again, discard it for 2, cast it for 1 red, remove a permanent. Very, very powerful. I will note that this deck definitely needs more removal, like enchantment removal, creature removal. I'm thinking I want to add at least one more card like this, Feed the Swarm, where again, you can discard it, cast it for 1 black, destroy target creature, or enchantment, so you lose life equal to it. But getting rid of the enchantments is important for, again, Smothering Ties, Rhystic Studies, or if a lot of times people want to enchant your Green Goblin. I got Darksteel mutationed yesterday, and this was milled, so it was unfortunate. But again, if I have Daring Wave Rider, if I have the Will of the Jeskai, things like that, I can get this back to then recast this to be able to do that. But I definitely need more enchantment removal in this deck, how I'm kind of feeling about it recently. And then last but not least, I just have a couple other, good cards. Demonic Tutor. It's the only tutor I run. I kind of just use this card to pick up. I use this card to pick up anything that like I might need specifically in that moment. If I need a specific card, I'll go grab it. I don't use this to grab the same card every time or to do the same things. It's just kind of like I could really use this card. This is big if I need a discard outlet. If I don't have one of these, or if I do have one of these and I dig into this, I try to grab one of these, the consistent ones, because having one card that just lets me discard 1 card per turn is very, very important. So this usually will grab one of these if I need one. So it's basically a pseudo one of those. So that's what I use this for. My girlfriend actually gave this counterspell to me. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Hence playing Green Goblin, and I just love Spider-Man, so this is so sick, and she gave it to me, which I feel very thankful for. So just Counterspell, it's a great card. This card kind of sucks, but I don't know, hypothetically it's kind of good. So if you're playing on your turn, you can tap 3. If someone tries to, I don't know, counter one of your things, you can respond by countering theirs, and you can choose and discard 2 cards. So you hypothetically could discard 2 and be able to cast those and add this counterspell back to your hand. Hasn't come up for me yet, but I did want to keep it in there on the off chance that it is good. Plus I think it's pretty unique, so I'm gonna keep testing this. If it ends up being bad, I'll switch it out for an Offer You Can't Refuse or a Swan Song or something else. But for now, I think it's pretty unique being able to, and you don't have to buy it back, so you can just, if you have an instant speed discard, it's just a regular counter spell. You can discard it and then cast it for 2 blue, counter target spell. But if you do want to discard 2 cards, you can potentially profit off of that and get this card back. So I think that's pretty fun. And then last but not least, I do run Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation. I would not consider these to be my deck's win con in terms of what the deck is trying to do. As you can see, it is trying to do this. But sometimes, like if a game is stalemated or it's going on forever, I'll just use this as a way to end the game. If we're all kind of stuck, I will dig for it, or Will of the Jeskai, or something to be able to grab these Macabre Waltz, anything I can to be able to get these so that, you know, I can end the game if that's where we're at. But it is not, I'm not going for this every game. I'd much rather win through burning or combat damage or anything else this deck wants to do. That's not just this, but it is just there as a backup. But yeah, so that is, I've been playing Green Goblin for maybe a year, not even. I mean, what, the deck's been out for like 6 months or something. But I've been having an absolute blast with it, and I think it's fantastic, and I think it's so fun, and it's pretty strong. And yeah, I don't know. And I plan on continuing to play this and work on it and edit it. And this is like kind of my first draft. I kind of think maybe like every 6 months or something, I'll post an update and let you guys know what I've taken out, what I've kept in, what works, what doesn't work. I don't really know what else I'm going to post, if I'm going to keep posting. You know, my friends have decks. I could, you know, maybe see if they want to record these so you guys can see what they're playing, or if I build other decks, I can let you guys know too. But yeah, I thought this would be really fun to do this. And again, shout out to Petrowski MTG for his Lord of Tressorhorn video. I will post the link for that in the description. Go watch that video. It is better than this. He's been playing that deck for 10 years. It's like an hour long. He's very, very in depth, but it's a fantastic, super fun video. And I wanted to contribute to that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll post some more stuff for you, or I'll at least just give you some updates on this. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and you know, hopefully maybe more people will start posting these. And I love these kind of videos. I love seeing in-depth videos of people's decks. I love seeing the artworks that they've chosen for their decks. I like seeing what foils they have, or what the themes are, what their decks want to do. I love that, and I miss that from the Yu-Gi-Oh community. And so I'm kind of hoping that people will watch my video and watch Petrowski's video. And I'm kind of hoping that the other people will start making these, because I want to watch them. So I figured I would make some of the content that I want to see. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope you guys maybe want to post, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And yeah, if you do build this, if you build the cheaper version or whatever, and you have some fun, like, come back to this video and like let me know, because like I love this deck so much, and I would love to see more people playing it. I think it's so fun, and it's kind of like every game you're kind of trying to figure out what to do, what cards you want to discard. You're constantly having to make that choice, and I think it's extremely fun. So if you guys do end up playing it or trying it, please let me know, because that would make me really happy. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and yeah, have a great day. Bye.